Manipulation is a skill, and those who master it hold immense influence. You might not even notice, but every day, skilled manipulators shape your actions and decisions. Today, I'm going to show you how to use this powerful tool to your advantage. By the time we're finished, you may be shocked at how many times these tactics have already been used against you. Believe me, this is something you won't want to miss. Stick around as we reveal some surprising insights. Are you ready? Let's get started. 1. Gaslighting. Gaslighting occurs when someone makes you doubt your own reality. This subtle yet powerful tactic involves twisting situations to make you question your memory, perception, or thoughts. Example: after a disagreement, you might start to believe that you are the problem, even though the other person instigated the conflict. Over time, you begin to rely more on their version of events, losing trust in your own memory. Recognition strategy. If someone frequently tells you that you're misremembering or overreacting, pay close attention to how often you feel confused or second-guess your actions. Trust your instincts. Counter strategy. Trust your perception and seek validation from trusted friends or family. Keep records of situations when you feel gaslit to help you stay grounded in your reality. 2. Reverse psychology. Reverse psychology involves suggesting the opposite of what you truly want, knowing the other person will likely rebel against the suggestion. Example: if someone wants you to stop drinking soda, they might say, "Sure, go ahead and drink soda every day," knowing you'll want to do the opposite and choose healthier options. Recognition strategy. Recognize when someone is trying to play on your rebellious nature. If you feel an urge to do the opposite of what is suggested, pause and assess if the suggestion was intentional. Counter strategy. Stay mindful of your choices and assert your preferences without being influenced by others' manipulation tactics. 3. Choice restriction. Choice restriction involves giving you limited options to create the illusion of control, but ultimately guiding you toward the manipulator's desired outcome. Example: a manager might say, "You can either work on this project now or get started on another one," effectively guiding you to make a choice that aligns with their agenda without seeming forceful. Recognition strategy. Be aware of situations where the options presented are not as broad as they seem. If you feel pressured into a decision, take a step back and ask yourself if there are other possibilities. Counter strategy. Evaluate all your options independently. Resist the pressure to choose from a narrowed set of options and create your own choices. 4. Guilt trips. Guilt trips involve making you feel bad about your actions or choices to lower your defenses and force you to comply with their wishes. Example: after everything I've done for you, you can't do this one small thing for me? This emotional pressure creates a sense of obligation to agree to their request. Recognition strategy. Recognize if someone's words make you feel disproportionately guilty or obligated, especially when you haven't done anything wrong. Counter strategy. Acknowledge your own feelings and set boundaries without feeling guilty. Don't be afraid to say no when necessary. 5. Manipulative negotiation. This tactic uses exaggeration or urgency to pressure you into making a decision quickly, often without giving you the chance to consider all the details. Example: a salesperson might say, "This is the best deal you'll ever get. It's a limited time offer," creating a sense of urgency to make a decision before you've had time to think it through. Recognition strategy. If you feel rushed or pressured into making a decision, slow down and ask for more time. Evaluate all aspects of the situation before agreeing. Counter strategy. Take your time to consider decisions and don't be afraid to walk away if something feels off. 6. Amplifying issues. This tactic involves turning small problems into bigger ones, often to pressure you into reacting quickly or making a rash decision. Example: a minor disagreement might be blown out of proportion with statements like, "This always happens," or "You never listen," making the situation seem worse than it is. Recognition strategy. If you notice someone exaggerating a problem to manipulate your emotions, take a step back and assess the situation calmly. Counter strategy. Stay calm and assess the situation rationally. Avoid emotional reactions and focus on resolving the issue in a clear-headed way. 7. Love bombing. Love bombing involves showering you with excessive affection and attention to win your trust, only to use that bond to manipulate you later. Example: at first they might say, "You're the best person I've ever met," but as the relationship progresses, they may start using guilt or withdrawal of affection to control your actions. Recognition strategy. Be cautious of intense affection early on. If someone seems to be overly affectionate too quickly, they may have ulterior motives. Counter strategy. Maintain emotional boundaries and avoid rushing into deep emotional bonds too quickly. Take your time to truly get to know someone. 8. Silent treatment. The silent treatment involves ignoring someone as a form of punishment. It creates emotional confusion and insecurity. Example: after an argument, the person might stop responding to your texts or calls for days, leaving you questioning your actions or wondering what went wrong. Recognition strategy. If someone regularly withholds communication or uses silence to punish you, recognize it as a manipulation tactic. Counter strategy. Address the issue directly and communicate your feelings rather than engaging in the cycle of silence. Set boundaries and don't let silence manipulate you. 9. Triangulation. Triangulation involves bringing a third party into a conflict to create division and tension, ensuring loyalty to the manipulator. Example: a friend might say, "Did you hear what Alex said about you?" This stirs conflict between you and Alex, positioning the friend as your ally. Recognition strategy. Be aware of situations where others try to bring in outside opinions or third parties into your disagreements. Counter strategy. Communicate directly with the individuals involved and avoid letting others dictate your relationships. Resolve conflicts one-on-one. 10. Fear appeal. Fear appeal involves using exaggerated risks or threats to coerce you into compliance by preying on your anxieties about potential consequences. Example: a boss might say, "If you don't finish this project tonight, it could jeopardize your career," pushing you to act out of fear of potential harm. Recognition strategy. Identify when fear is being used to manipulate you and assess the actual risks. Be mindful of overblown threats. Counter strategy. Challenge irrational fears and make decisions based on logic and careful consideration, not anxiety. 11. Flattery for influence. Using excessive compliments to gain trust or favor, making you more likely to comply with their requests. Example: a colleague frequently praises your work, then suddenly asks you to help with a project they don't want to do themselves. Recognition strategy. Notice if the flattery feels excessive or out of place, especially if it's followed by a request. Counter strategy. Appreciate the compliments, but remain critical of the motives behind them. Assess the situation before agreeing to requests. 12. Information withholding. Deliberately leaving out key details to skew your understanding or control your decisions. Example: a manager might provide only partial instructions for a task, ensuring you fail or need their intervention to succeed. Recognition strategy. If you frequently feel uninformed or unprepared, consider whether information is being withheld deliberately. Counter strategy. Ask for clarification and request detailed information to ensure you have everything you need to make informed decisions. 13. Projection. Accusing you of traits or behaviors that they themselves exhibit, deflecting attention away from their flaws. Example: a partner who frequently lies might accuse you of dishonesty, shifting the focus from their actions to yours. Recognition strategy. Notice if accusations consistently align with their known behaviors or tendencies. Counter strategy. Address the situation calmly and provide evidence to refocus the discussion on the real issue. 14. Exploiting empathy. Manipulators often exploit your natural empathy to get their way, framing their needs as emergencies or injustices. Example: a friend might frequently use phrases like, "If you don't help me, I'll be lost," even for minor inconveniences. Recognition strategy. Consider whether the situation truly warrants your level of involvement or emotional investment. Counter strategy. Set clear boundaries and evaluate requests critically, ensuring you're not being taken advantage of. 15. Feigning innocence. Pretending they don't understand a situation or issue to avoid accountability or gain sympathy. Example: when caught in a lie, they might say, "I had no idea this would upset you," deflecting blame and seeking forgiveness. Recognition strategy. Be aware if someone frequently avoids responsibility by acting clueless or overly apologetic. Counter strategy. Hold them accountable by clearly stating the impact of their actions and discussing the patterns you observe. By understanding these manipulation tactics, you can protect yourself, respond strategically, and make more informed decisions in your interactions. This will help you maintain control over your relationships and decisions, empowering you to build stronger, healthier connections.